Hello, everyone. Thank you for tuning in today. And also, today's program is going to be pretty much audio. So, it can be audio. I'm going to show some things, but if you would like to clean your house or go for a drive and put on some YouTube, then you can please tune in. Please like the video, as well as please subscribe to my channel and we can discuss more cases. So today we are going to be discussing, well, not really discussing, but we are going to be talking about the Lilly and Jack Sullivan case out of Nova Scotia. And if you say, oh, well, I know all about this case, well, that's great. I'm glad you do, because more people need to know about it, right? So we need to talk more. And what I did was I actually asked AI to pretty much tell me what is a similar missing person case to the Jack and Lilly Sullivan case in Nova Scotia. Okay, so I have a comparison chart, and there are going to be some other comparisons in here as well, just so you know. All right, but right now, a missing child case with similarities to the Jack and Lilly Sullivan disappearance is the case of William Terrell in Australia. Both cases involve young children vanishing suddenly and without a trace from a rural property adjacent to dense bushland or woods with no initial evidence of abduction. So, I do not know about this Australian case, and I do have a little graph right here that it gave me, which is really cool. I don't know if you've used AI for anything like work related or anything, but it's pretty intense. So the comparison of the cases. So Jack and Lilly Sullivan case, we know that it was a rural home on Gairloch Road in Lansdowne Station, Pictou County, Nova Scotia, bordering dense woods on May 2nd, 2025. So the William Terrell case was September 12th, 2014. Foster grandmother's home in Kendall, New South Wales, Australia, a rural area near bushland. And William was 3 when he was missing. Lilly and Jack, so Lilly was 6, Jack was 4. Unfortunately, Jack just had a birthday, 5 years old. And I'm sorry, but I don't believe that they're still with us. Okay, so the circumstances for the cases. In Jack and Lily's case, the parents reported the children missing from inside the home after a short period when they were unattended. The mother and stepfather were in the bedroom with a baby sibling. They were believed to have left through a sliding door unnoticed. William was playing in a yard in a Spider-Man costume and vanished in broad daylight within a short time frame while his foster mother was inside making tea. And we've heard so many different stories before, right? Of different missing children where, unfortunately, you just take your eyes off of them for a second and something happens. In the initial search for Lilly and Jack, massive initial ground search involving hundreds of volunteers, K9 units, drones, and helicopters covering several square kilometers of rugged terrain, but no significant trace was found. In William's case, extensive initial search of the surrounding bushland by police and volunteers, which also yielded no clues to his whereabouts. The evidence found. So a child-sized boot print and potentially a piece of blanket. We all know about the pink blanket, right? Piece of pink blanket were the only potential physical clues near the property for Lilly and Jack's case. For William, no significant evidence was found in the initial search phase. So the status of the cases. In Lilly and Jack's, the case remains a missing persons investigation with all possibilities, including wandering off, accidental death, or foul play being considered. The RCMP, the Royal Canadian Mounted Police, have not found evidence of abduction. In William's case, the case is a high-profile, long-running investigation. Authorities initially treated it as a missing person case, but later shifted focus to potential foul play and abduction scenarios. The key similarity. Both cases feature the baffling vanishing of young children from a rural residential setting adjacent to challenging natural terrain, with extensive searches failing to find any physical evidence pointing to their location or what happened to them. The mysterious nature and lack of definitive evidence in both cases have led to widespread public speculation and various theories. We have heard a lot of theories in Jack and Lily's case. The primary similarity lies in how easily and quickly young children could disappear from a seemingly secure environment. Okay, that's questionable. And the subsequent lack of physical evidence despite massive search efforts, leading to sustained public interest and ongoing investigations into multiple scenarios. And there's Jack and Lily on this. I've got a picture of them. Such cute kids, I tell you, cute kids. So I asked, can you find another similar but more recent similar case to the Nova Scotia one? So AI stated a more recent missing child case with striking similarities to the Jack and Lily Sullivan disappearance in Nova Scotia is the case of Summer Wells from Tennessee in 2021. I don't know if you know about Summer Wells, but if you've been watching or listening to podcasts, true crime, for a while, 3 or 4 years now, or more, well, 4 years, 3 or 4 years, Summer Wells from Tennessee vanished. So both cases involve young children disappearing suddenly and without a trace from their rural family homes. Initial extensive searches of dense, challenging terrain yielding no physical evidence of the children's location. Mysterious circumstances with no definitive evidence of abduction or wandering off. Intense public scrutiny and speculation surrounding the parents or family due to inconsistencies or perceived anomalies in their statements or actions. Oh my gosh. There's a lot of different things regarding Summer Wells' case. And please know, if you are not sure about Summer Wells' case, please look into that case. Recently, I feel, this is just my opinion, Summer Wells, they lived very close to people who had some dealings with rugs. And because of that dealing, I think that people came and were going to take the neighbor's child. They ended up taking Summer. That's my thought. Okay. I don't know if they unalived her or what happened, but that just is my theory. After all the other theories I've had, seems relevant. So the comparison of Summer Wells' case and Jack and Lily Sullivan case. The location, both are rural homes, right? Summers was in Rogersville, Hawkins County, Tennessee, near mountainous terrain and woods. And we've seen that there is a lot of water around that area too, as well as Jack and Lily's. Summer Wells was in June 15th, 2021 was the last day she was seen. She was 5 years old, so very close in age to Lily and Jack. Parents reported the children missing after a short period, up to 20 minutes, when they were unattended in the morning, believed to have left through a sliding door unnoticed. That's Jack and Lily. Summer was reportedly helping her mother in the garden and then went inside the house to the basement. She vanished shortly after, and her father, who was at a different location, was called. So there are different stories regarding Summer's mother's statements that her mother probably was not even at home at that time. Okay. The initial search, we've heard about the initial search for Jack and Lily. So Summer Wells' case, an endangered child alert was issued because they really thought, right? Endangered child alert, usually there's a vehicle involved. Someone took her. That is a very good assumption, evidently, from the police. So they put out the endangered child alert. It was issued, followed by extensive ground searches involving numerous agencies, canine units, and volunteers. Like the Sullivan case, no physical evidence, like scent or footprints, was found to indicate she wandered into the nearby woods. Evidence found. So we know in Jack and Lily that a child-sized boot print was found and potentially a piece of blanket near the property, but definitive clues were scarce. No significant physical evidence, scent, or definitive clues were ever found that pointed to her whereabouts in the initial search phase for Summer Wells. More pictures. So how about another similar case to the Nova Scotia case within the last 10 years? Another similar case from within the last 10 years is that of Sebastian Wayne Drake Rogers from Tennessee in 2024. Yes, people, Tennessee. Another Tennessee case. Now, if you do not know a lot about the true crime cases lately, Sebastian went missing last year, 2024, and his case is really similar. I have followed that from day one. So this case shares the eerie similarity of a young child vanishing from their home in a rural or remote area during the night with minimal evidence found despite extensive searches. Okay, so there is Sebastian. So I've got a picture up for him. About him. Okay, so the comparison of the cases for Jack and Lily Sullivan case and Sebastian Rogers case. So Sebastian's home is in a rural, remote area of Hendersonville, Tennessee, adjacent to woods and difficult terrain. However, Sebastian lived in a subdivision right next door to other homes. Okay, so it's not as remote as what Jack and Lily's home was. So just FYI. Okay, so the date of his disappearance is February 26, 2024. Now, Sebastian was 15, but with a developmental disability and the cognitive ability of a younger child. Okay, so that is a little different, but Jack and Lily, they stated that they could possibly be autistic. Sebastian's case, he was diagnosed with autism. Okay, so the circumstances surrounding Sebastian Rogers' case, Sebastian's mother put him to bed around 10 p.m. When the parents checked his room the next morning, when his mother checked his room the next morning around 6 a.m., he was gone. He was believed to have snuck out of the house in the middle of the night. Well, that is what the mother states that she believes. Okay. So the initial search for Sebastian Rogers' case was an extensive search involving hundreds of search and rescue personnel, canine units, aerial searches. Like the Sullivan case, no evidence was found in the immediate area to suggest he had wandered far. Many believe because of the dogs going out there initially that they went to the construction site. My book, my theory, this is my opinion only. However, a lot of other people feel the same way I do, that he went to the construction site and something happened. I'm sorry. They did not stop the construction when people were searching. What? If a child is missing, wouldn't you stop all the big, huge construction vehicles? I mean, they were doing extensive ground moving, moving the ground around. So, it's my soapbox for another day, right? Okay. So the evidence was found. Okay, so we know that in Jack and Lilly Sullivan's case, a child-sized boot print and potentially a piece of blanket were the only potential physical clues near the property. The primary clues of Sebastian Rogers' case were footprints near a dumpster, but no definitive evidence of his path was found. Also, they stated one of the dogs went into one of the retaining ponds around Sebastian's area, jumped in. It was not hot outside. This was February in Tennessee. February in Tennessee, 40s at night, 30s at night. Now, I'm not sure. I keep thinking that was the day of, but I could be wrong. It could be the week after, within the week of him going missing. Okay, so the case is ongoing missing persons investigation for Sebastian Rogers' case. The Tennessee Bureau of Investigation, the TBI, has treated the case with high priority, but his whereabouts remain a mystery. Foul play has been considered. I'm not sure what foul play they are considering, but we do know from Sebastian's biological father stating that medicine had been changed recently for him, and I keep thinking it was to help him sleep. I'm not sure about that, but medicine had been changed, and that could be a possible theory that somehow his medicine was changed and he did not walk out of the house. And that's just one theory, okay? The status of Jack and Lilly Sullivan case, we know that the case remains a missing persons investigation with all possibilities, including wandering off, accidental death, or foul play being considered. And excuse me, some people think that Ruggs may have been involved in that as well. One theory is that because of in past rug use by their stepfather, that possibility that there could have been some rug using, and you know that I'm saying the D-R-U-G, right? That the stepfather may have laid something around, and then the children get into it, and they're no more. So that's one theory, right? Okay, so key similarity. Both cases involve a baffling disappearance of children from a seemingly secure home in a rural area. Okay, so I think earlier when it said a secure home and surroundings, I kind of remarked something about their surroundings. When we looked at aerial view of the day that they were missing, the back fenced-in yard, that fence looked like little kids could get out of there easily, okay? Even though there are chickens there and some other areas, I mean, the chickens had more, it looked, to me, it looked as though the chickens could not get out. I mean, chickens, hey, I've seen chicken go over a 10-foot fence before. So I can't really talk about chickens, okay? That may be another podcast. If chickens go missing, right? So the key similarity lies in the perplexing lack of a physical trail or evidence despite the use of modern search technology and canine units, leaving the possibility of either an unprecedented disappearance into the wilderness or an untraceable abduction from a home environment. If you are not familiar with the Sebastian Rogers case, now Sebastian Rogers case, when I started watching it, it was Dolly Vision on YouTube. He still, to this day, talks about Sebastian Rogers. The Sebastian Rogers case, heavily involved in that case. Someone just came to mind, Pascal. He's done a lot of podcasts regarding Sebastian's case. I was just trying to think of one other person that just flew out of my head. Don't you hate that? Well, I'm blaming it on age. Okay. So I asked, there was one more thing that I wanted to say. It's Mob Crew. Mob Crew on YouTube. Chris on Mob Crew has taken so many things. Now, mind you, some people don't like him. Some people say, he just keeps going on and on and on about this one video or whatever. Well, when you research stuff, it is good to keep doing the same thing over and over again. You may actually see something new. And you know what? He does. He does report some things new on the Nick Barris video of the lights and a car in that area of Sebastian's case. So if you're not really familiar with that, okay, look up Mob Crew on YouTube. It's a Criming Shame, Dolly Vision. I may do another one on Sebastian pretty soon. Okay, so I asked AI to try to find another similar case within 10 years of the Nova Scotia case. Another case from within the last 10 years with strong parallels, very strong parallels to the Jack and Lilly Sullivan disappearance is that of Dylan Eller. Okay, that's E-H-L-E-R. Dylan Eller. Another Nova Scotia boy who went missing in May 2020. Now, you have to also remember, May 2020, we were under COVID, okay? Just FYI, so we can remember what the date is. I don't think that had anything to do with this, but whatever. Okay, so the cases share a striking resemblance due to the close proximity because they're both Nova Scotia, okay? The age of the child and the complete lack of physical evidence found during initial searches. So Dylan Eller, the grandmother's yard on Elizabeth Street in Truro, Nova Scotia, near a brook and river. Yeah, that's never good, right? The date of the disappearance was May 6, 2020. May 6th, 2020. May 2nd, 2025 was the Jack and Lilly Sullivan case disappearance. I'm sorry. I just got chills. I just freaking got chills. Mainly because I have done so much research and listening to so many podcasts so long now. You may have too. regarding serial offenders. Serial offenders, sometimes dates are important. We want to keep that in mind because every little evidentiary piece of the puzzle may be significant. Okay. So Dylan was 3. Oh my God. 3 years old. You know, they said that Jack ran off when he was 2. Jack ran off when he was 2 years old and made a beeline towards, towards a school, I think. And he was in the back of a school running like crazy and 2 years old. And someone spotted him running in the back of a field, or in a field in the back of a school. So they also said Jack can go in small places, hide in very small places. So that makes you kind of mindful to, mind you, Lily is 6, bigger than him, but still, you know, you just have to keep your mind open, right, to all the different scenarios. So Dylan was last seen playing in his grandmother's yard. He vanished quickly, with the theory being he was swept into a nearby brook that led to a river. Oh, gosh. Extensive search operations involving police, fire, ground search and rescue, and a dive team. Similar to the Sullivan case, searches failed to produce physical evidence of Dylan himself. So in the Sullivan case, I heard that they did a little bit of water looking, but I didn't know it was that extensive, but maybe so. Okay, so Dylan Eller's case remains an active missing person case. The primary theory is that he fell into the water, was swept out to the ocean, but a body has never been recovered and no definitive evidence rules out other possibilities. Only a pair of boots believed to be Dylan's were found in the brook 2 days later. Oh, God. Okay. They had said that the little boy was wearing those boots. Okay. Both cases are extremely baffling due to the proximity of the disappearance in Nova Scotia and lack of a clear, definitive trail. Despite massive search efforts and canine units, the children essentially vanished without a trace, leaving behind only minimal potential physical clues and intense public speculation about what exactly happened and whether foul play was involved. The close geographical and temporal proximity of these 2 cases, combined with the mysterious circumstances, lack of physical evidence, make them highly comparable. Oh my gosh, the dates sorry, they just kill me. Oh my gosh. Okay. So there are some theories in the disappearance of Dylan Eller. There are 2 primary theories about the disappearance of 3-year-old Dylan Eller from his grandmother's backyard in Truro, Nova Scotia on May 6, 2020. Accidental drowning is the first one. This is the main theory held by the Truro Police Service. The theory: police investigators believe Dylan likely fell into Leper Brook, a stream that runs behind the grandmother's house, which feeds into the larger Salmon River. Due to the high water levels and strong current at the time, he was likely swept away into the Bay of Fundy. Okay, high water levels. It was May in Nova Scotia. So there is some possibility that the kids, Jack and Lily, could have gone into a brook. Oh, gosh. Evidence. The only physical evidence found during the massive search was a pair of boots identified as Dylan's, found in 2 locations along the brook. Oh gosh, they were not together. So 2 different locations. So the police have stated that they do not suspect foul play based on their investigation and the evidence found, and have conducted tests, including a mannequin drop, to support this theory. So evidently they weigh a mannequin about the same size, and they drop that mannequin in where possibility of the child going in at the brook to see what happens. Okay, so evidently they conducted tests. That's the weight of the mannequin, the size of the mannequin, and supporting this theory. A second theory is abduction or foul play. This theory is strongly held by Dylan's parents and some members of the public. So the parents do not believe Dylan fell into the water, arguing more evidence or a body should have been found if that were the case, given the extensive search efforts. They believe he was abducted by someone who knew the area and possibly the family. Why would someone want to hurt your child? Right? That's a question. Why would someone want to hurt your child? I mean, yeah, he was 3 years old. Evidence. The lack of any other physical evidence besides the boots is cited by proponents of this theory as suspicious, suggesting the boots might have been planted to misdirect searchers. The parents have also mentioned receiving strange ransom messages and dealing with online harassment and threats, though these were investigated as scams by police. So the parents received strange ransom messages, they state, right? And online harassment and threats, I'm sorry, you're going to get those. You're going to get those. I'm sorry, but even if there was a trail leading to another house, leading to skid marks of a car, with a trail of a car leaving the area, they would still harass you. People are just, you're going to find, I'm sorry, people are going to have threats against them, harassment. Your poor child is missing. I can't even imagine. I don't want to imagine. Someone take Piper. Oh my God. Piper goes missing. I'm not quite sure what I would be doing. So the family stance. So the family continues to search for Dylan and believes there is a chance he is still alive somewhere. Well, you should always have hope, right? You should always have hope. And Belinda, if you're listening, she is the grandmother of Lily and Jack and has been on Around the Bend on podcasts and some news reports. And Belinda, my heart goes out to you, and hopefully, I really want you to have hope. I really do. So the case remains an active missing person investigation, but without definitive evidence, both theories persist among the public and the family. Poor little Dylan, I tell you, 3 years old. And there's his picture. And then they came back and did another picture. The one on the left is a picture I believe the family gave them. And then on the right, they gave a drawing of a picture that I found. So any leads or developments in Dylan Eller's case since 2020? As of November 2025, there have been no major breakthroughs or definitive leads in the disappearance of Dylan Eller. Since 2020, the case remains an active missing persons investigation with the Truro Police Service. Key developments and information since 2020 include ongoing police investigation. They maintain their official stance that there is no evidence of foul play, and the prevailing theory is that Dylan fell into the nearby brook and was swept away. So, lack of physical evidence, despite extensive searches using canine units, drones, and helicopters, the only items found were Dylan's boots in Leper Brook. No further physical evidence of Dylan has ever been discovered in the area or elsewhere. So Dylan's parents, Jason Eller and Ashley Brown, have continued to search independently. They're advocates for changes to missing child protocols and have worked with volunteer organizations. So, new volunteer searches in May and June of 2025, so earlier this year, the 5th anniversary of the disappearance, a volunteer organization called Please Bring Me Home conducted new searches in areas following a different theory than the river at the request of the family. An item of interest was found during the search and turned over to police, but no updates have confirmed its relevance. Ooh, I don't know what that item of interest is. I just now read this, so I don't know. Okay. I'm going to have to look into that, right? Okay. So 5 years later, they find an item of interest. Okay. So cyberbullying legal action. The parents face significant online harassment and rumors, leading them to take legal action under Nova Scotia's cyberbullying laws. The case was settled in 2021 with certain social media users barred from contacting the family or creating groups about the case. Okay, so I did not do that. I just now learned about the case. Family, please don't sue me. Please don't sue me. I'm just trying to help find your child. So the parents filed complaints against the Truro Police Service regarding their handling of the initial investigation and communication. In August 2023, the Nova Scotia Police Review Board dismissed these complaints. In June 2025, police in the province confirmed the case does not meet the criteria for the provincial Major Unsolved Crimes Rewards Program because there is no evidence of a crime or foul play. Wow. That's why there's no reward for Dylan. Okay. So people, I have to tell you this. Please know you need to share this video and any other video that you might see, hear about, podcasts, anything that relates to missing children. I do whine. I'm sorry, I'm whining like Piper right now, right? Please do that. Please, please, please. I went to Nova Scotia on a cruise. And I was looking around. It was earlier this year. So I was actually looking while I was on the cruise. You never know. When you get off a cruise ship and you go into Halifax, Nova Scotia, I did not see them. I saw children, but I did not see them. Contact the Nova Scotia RCMP for information on the disappearance of Jack and Lilly Sullivan. You can call the general non-emergency line at 1-888-803-7267 or submit an anonymous tip through Nova Scotia Crime Stoppers by calling 1-800-222-TIPS. That's 1-800-222-8477. or online at crimestoppers.ns.ca or through the P3 Tips app. So there's actually an app. There's always an app, right? Okay, guys. This is the poster for Jack and Lilly Sullivan, the missing children in Canada. She was 6. Jack was 4. went missing from their rural home on Gairloch Road, Lansdowne Station, Nova Scotia. I'm sorry, I see a lot about this. I start reading just like they would. Nova Scotia, Canada on May 2nd, 2025. $150,000 reward for information. They're still missing, still missed, still looking, and they're still loved by their community. I know. I listen to Sunny constantly on It's a Criming Shame. This is Angela, Piper's mom, True Crime Podcast, signing off. Oh, God.